So namaste everybody, welcome to Monday's Vinyasa class today. It's been a bit windy and cold today, so you might feel like you need to sort of really start to power through some of these poses to get some circulation and some heat going. So we're going to focus on hip openers today, as we do tend to store quite a lot of tension in here if we're sat for long periods of time. So we're just going to try and free this up. I'm going to take the cycle in a little bit of a different way. So you might want to have a block or a Tupperware box with you, just to sort of provide a bit of focus to some of the poses. You might also want to have a cushion, sofa cushion, a rolled up towel or a squidgy little cushion to stick underneath your feet or your bottom or your hips. So without further ado, we're actually going to start in hero pose today. So Virasana, this is not easy for everybody. Traditionally, we used to say about pushing out the calf muscles to the side when sitting in hero pose. But today I'm going to try something different. So if you usually sit on a block, or you feel that your hips and lower back and ankles are going to be particularly tight, and quads into the knees, then feel free to grab your block, cushion or padded towel, little towel, to stick underneath your bottom. So we're going to bring the feet a little bit wider, knees a little bit wider. Instead of squidging out the calves, we're going to press down. So we're going to just press the fingers in behind the knees and just press straight down. So we're sort of squidging the calf flat as we bring the thighs down. Squidge out each hand. So you should see one of the larger muscles of the calves popping out to the side here, so you see a little bulge. And then we're just going to scoot out the feet a little bit wider and see if you can sit down in the middle. If you're a little bit away from the floor, then obviously grab something and stick it underneath your bottom, or sit comfortably in this position. So getting yourself nicely aligned, we're just going to bring ourselves into practice here, and we're giving a really good stretch to start with through the legs into the lower back. So what tends to happen if we start to collapse in this pose, and you see the sort of pelvis starts to tilt backwards, so the top of the hips start to tip backwards and the lower back caves in, then you want to prop yourself up a little bit higher. So bring yourself nice and high, roll the shoulders round a couple of times, forward and back together, and then we're just going to bring ourselves into practice. So you can cup the hands in the palm, in one palm in the other, can't speak today, and just going to bring the hands into the lap and bring the tips of the thumbs together. Or if you prefer, you can have your hands in a different mudra or into Namaste. So just stretching through the top of the head, lifting the heart just lightly forward, so your heart center here, center of the chest here, just lifting it forwards and just tucking the chin in lightly. Starting to take your focus breaths. So bandhas starting to work from the start here. So just pulling in the bandhas, helping to release the hips, the legs in the right way. Mula bandha, and then Uddiyana bandha, tucking in and up. And just bring the breath higher and wider. Bring in your Ujjayi breath if that's what you prefer, so closing the throat and just creating that nice sibilant sound for you to hook onto in your practice, and for it to heat the body a bit more effectively as well. So carefully does it then, we're going to bring ourselves into a twist here. As you finish off your breathing, and keep your eyes closed here, release the hands. We're going to bring the right hand, so the right hand, right shoulder stretches behind, and we're just going to twist gently. So we're not ratcheting round, we're just bringing the heart through. So we're just rolling that shoulder, lead with the shoulder, and the chest will follow and the heart lifts. Breathing here. Breathe in back to center, lead with the shoulder and turn to the other side. Thinking carefully about how your spine is stacked, breathing here. back into the center. We're going to take eagle arms here. So we're going to look at bringing the straight arms out. So you can take a big sort of stretch open, bring the shoulder blades together, arms a bit lower than shoulder height, and then bring them round straight and try and cross them as far as you can with straight arms. Then bend at the elbows and see if you can bring the arms round. If you can't, just press the backs of the hands and the arms together. Otherwise, flick around, dropping the chin. We're going to draw the shoulders back and down and just try and push away with the elbows and lift up and away. So the heart center also grows as you grow this pose into more of a back bend if it's comfortable for you. So breathing in here, use the bandhas here, stretching up and away. Carefully releasing that off. Swap the hands wide again, taking note of which arm is on top, crossing them over again, bending and bringing them into position, rolling the shoulders back and down, pushing the elbows away and lifting up. Grow the heart center through the front and lift. Breathe in, bring it back down, releasing off. Lovely. So I've been sat here for a little while. I'm just going to make sure that the legs are okay. So carefully does it. We're just going to bring our weight forward. Have the hands forward of the knees. Okay. Push the feet into the floor as you lift yourself up with Mula Bandha. So you hinge your way out of the pose by activating the legs. Okay. Lovely. You're bringing yourself into a down dog here. So I'm going to spin sideways. So from our short kneeling position, bring your hands out in front, nicely in line with the shoulder heads, big hands. I'd like you to have the index fingers parallel. So they're going to be nicely parallel and pointing straight up to the ceiling to activate the inner wrists a little bit more. Might feel a bit odd. Roll the shoulders back and down. Push the heels of the hands in and then just push the floor away as you tuck the toes under and bring yourself into quite a soft dog to start with. So bring in your alignment, draw the shoulders back and down and draw those upper arms into the body as you stretch away. So just lengthening through the tail. Don't worry what's happening with the legs for the moment. Just stretch into it. Focus on the front end, the L's of the hands and the arms, and then the lengthening out of the spine. Pedal the feet if that's comfortable. You might want to do that actually after kneeling for a little while in Virasana. Lovely. So take your time here, drop the weight through and gradually spend a little bit longer on each side as you're drawing the legs back up into the body, just starting to activate right into the core. Lovely. Spreading up and away. Lovely. When you're ready, rest with your left foot flat on the floor. Push the floor away and activate as you lift the knee into the chest. Look up, draw the knee in, round the shoulders, almost splay the hands wide, and then bring that leg up. Open it up, stretching up and away. Doesn't have to be bent, can be straight. If you prefer to bend it, that's fine. If you prefer to flex the foot, that's fine too. Just find where you can rest and be as active through the 3 points of the feet. Bring that leg through, bend the back leg and bring that leg through. You're going to move the right hand into the center, spin into a side angle here. You're going to drop yourself down towards the floor as we stretch away. Keep breathing here. Draw the energy up the legs and the base arm. Carefully spin it out and bring yourself back into a down dog. Take a break at any point if you need to. Pedaling the legs again if you feel you need to free up after your hero pose. And then when you're ready, build the base from the front, so fingers aligned, heels of hands, draw the energy up the arms, draw the arms back into the shoulders, stretch away, and then draw the the energy down that right foot, back up into the belly, band us in as you bring the knee into the chest, round the shoulders, lift it in, stretch forward, and then bring it through, up and away. Stretching up high if you prefer, or bending and flexing, you decide. Keep stretching, stretching, stretching. Lovely. And then when you're ready, carefully swapping through, spinning to the other side. Might need to stretch that foot out. Push the floor away, activate. Activate both feet as you sink and stretch sideways. Keep breathing here. Carefully change over back to your down dog. Rest out into child pose if you need to, or just keep reactivating those arms, feeling nice and solid through the front. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in, look up, and spring them forward to the front of the mat. Lovely. Stretch away into your Uttanasana and breathe out, folding down. Soften off, push the floor away. Just try to activate the legs a little bit more from that hero pose. Push the floor away. Grow the pose as you come all the way back up. Stretch up and breathe out. Just going to move the camera back ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, so then, here we are, upright. We're going to take our sun salutations. So, up at the front of the mat, going to take 4 rounds of A. If you want to take it slow, if you want to cut the numbers down, if you want to take a slightly truncated version, which doesn't maybe include Chaturanga and up dog, that is your call. So, take a deep breath in, sweep up, stretch up, breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride right, stride left. To knees to floor, Chaturanga to up dog if you're going this way. And push back to your down dog. And hold. Take time, think about that. The L's of the hands, the rotation of the arms, the drawing in of the triceps back into the body. And drawing the shoulder blades down the back towards the tail. Lovely. Deep breath in. Going to stretch left. Stride forward, extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, soften. Push the floor away. Bring yourself all the way back up. And breathe out. Number 2, deep breath in. And breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place stride left, stride right. Chaturanga to your up dog. Lift and drop those shoulders. Think about the heart pushing through all the while in these poses and pushing back down to your down dog. Settle and hold. Drawing the energy up the arms again, activating the triceps and into the shoulder blades. Spread the feet out as best you can. Spread the toes out, spread the fingers out. Deep breath in, look up. Stride right, left, extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in. Activate those bandhas now as you start to hinge back up rather than softening the legs. And breathe out. But if you feel your lower back needs some support, then feel free to keep bending the legs. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. And breathe out, fold. Place stride right, stride left. Your Chaturanga to your up dog. Really pulling the energy into the center line and pushing back to your down dog. Reacquaint yourself. Rebuild the pose if necessary. It doesn't matter, it's your dog. Listen to where you're getting chatter from the body. Strangely, my left knee today. Lovely. Could be cycling. Take a deep breath in, look up. Stride the left leg, stride the right leg. Extend, breathe out, fold. Breathe in all the way back up. And breathe out. Lovely. Number 4 then, turn sideways for this one. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place left, then right. To your chaturanga, to your up dog, rolling the shoulders back and down. Press the feet in. And then push back. Hinge through to your down dog. Settle yourself. Remake your adjustments. Bring yourself into your dog, flattening the feet, flattening the hands, and drawing the energy back up into the belly. Take a deep breath in. Look up. Stride right. Left. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in all the way back up. And breathe out. Lovely. So that's our first cycle done. We're going to take our sun salutations for B style now. So Surya Namaskar B. Finding your Utkatasana. Again, if you want to take the jump back or not, that's your call. You find the style that works for you. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, sit down. Breathe in and then breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Place, stride or jump. High plank to chaturanga to up dog. And push back to your down dog. Settle for a moment. Deep breath in, lift the right leg high. Sweep it through to the front. Adjust, push the floor away. Engage all four corners of the feet. Bring yourself up. Breathe out all the way down. Place, stride back. Through you go, lifting up and pushing back. Left leg high, sweeping through. Warrior on the left, bringing yourself up and breathing out all the way down. Place, striding through your chaturanga to your up dog and pushing back to your down dog. Settle and hold. Don't be afraid if you need to take a break. Think about replenishing your system rather than exhausting your system. So we're looking at really sort of focusing in on how we can maintain a healthy balance in our yoga. It's all about the balance between ease and effort. So in your down dog, take a deep breath in, look up and spring forward to your hands or step forward, extend, breathe out, fold. Breathe in, push the floor away, hinge yourself back up. I forgot the Utkatasana again. And breathe out. Sorry about that. So in the zone, take a deep breath in, soften the knees off. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend and fold. Place, stride or jump through your chaturanga to your up dog. Pushing away, softening off. And then pushing back to your down dog. Settle for a moment. Right leg high, sweep it through. This time the reverse. So coming up, taking a deep breath in. Draw the left leg down the back as you bring the right leg up. Trousers are not behaving today. Bring a stretch up and up and up. Back, opening the right arm and the right side. Over you go. Deep breath in, cycle over, place, through you go, all the way up, and push back, down dog. Left leg this time, high, sweeping through, find your warrior, push down through that back leg to bring that right hip forward, and slide and stretch. Lengthen up through the left side this time, and then breathe out, cycle all the way back down, place, through you go, up dog, and your down dog. And hold, settle here, adjust, draw the attention into where you need it. Breath, body. Don't get distracted now, just focus in on where you need to bring some sense into your yoga. Breathing here. Taking a deep breath in, looking up. Spring forward to your hands, extend. And breathe out, fold. Breathe in, push the floor away, hinging up to your Utkatasana. And breathing out. Number 3, take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Breathe and extend. What's going on with my head today? Breathe out, fold. Jump back, through you go. Up dog. And push back. Down dog. Right leg high. Sweep it through. Warrior 2. Cycle up. Stretch away. Breathe out all the way down. Through you go. Up dog. And your down dog. And then settle. Left leg high. Sweep it through. Find your pose. Cycle up. Open. Breathe out all the way down. Place. Through you go to your chaturanga, to your up dog, and back to your down dog. Settle here for a moment. Opening up the toes, dropping the heels, but then drawing the energy up into the legs, into the belly, into the bandhas. Take a deep breath in, look up, spring forward to your hands, extend, and breathe out, fold. Soften, push the floor away, grow your Utkatasana up, and breathe out. Lovely. If you want to take a final round here while we're just settling in for our next set of poses, you can, and we can all meet in down dog shortly. If you don't want to do this final round, just going to grab a sip of water, then you can settle yourself into a down dog. Okay, so when you're there in your down dog, we're just going to make sure we get our alignment just right. So, taking a deep breath in, going to bring ourselves high into the high lunge. So the right leg high to start with, through to the front, up on the back heel, go as deep as you can manage without twisting off through the pelvis. Push down through the feet, so that might involve softening that back knee. To push down, lift that energy up as you draw the legs back up into the belly. Lift up, curl the tail under, drop down, straightening this back leg if it will go, and settling. Up to you whether you have the hands on the hips. Dear me. So we've got an option here. Potentially you can sort of try and guide the right hip back as you bring the thumb into the crease of the front leg, so just above the thigh, and push in and draw down, and then bring the thumb of this left hand behind the back hip and push it forward. So just stretch in and settle. If you feel comfortable and you can maintain that level of balance between the two, you can sweep up and grow into the full pose, which is more of a front bend as well as a back bend. Deep breath in, breathe out, fold, place. Okay, dropping the back knee down. Pad up if you need to. Okay, just make sure that knee's going to be comfy. This floor's a bit harder than any carpeted surface. So we're going to bring and scooch that leg further forward, just checking you're nicely in alignment with your own pelvis, so you're not too wide in the legs. Push down, breathe in. Again, you can bring yourself up, push down through this right hip and push forward through the left hip, and open the chest. You should feel the stretch concentrating in the front of the back thigh. Lovely. But also maybe feel some activity down deep in the lower back on the right hand side as you're squaring off the pelvis. Up to you then if you then grow the pose, take it deep. Bandha's working hard here. Lovely. Deep breath in, release this off, going over to the other side. So we're going to bring both hands inside now for a lizard pose. Okay, drop down onto the forearms. Just scooch that leg out a tiny bit, but then draw the leg back into the body. So again, drawing back through the right hip and drawing forward through the left hip, like you're dragging the left leg through. Breathing here. Pushing down through both feet. Lovely. When you're ready, bring yourself back up to a high plank, and we're going to go down to a forearm cobra, and then a big cobra, and then a down dog. Okay, so carefully bringing yourself down to the floor. So we're going to bring both legs back together, scooch any blankets out of the way, high plank, activate. So you're really pushing the floor away, but then drawing the arms back in, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, sucking in the bandhas, pushing through all four corners of the feet and drawing the legs back into the body. Lovely. Lower down to the floor, forearm, bring yourself in. So we're going to roll the shoulders back and down, stretch through the top of the head as you lift up, lift each leg out, and you're drawing the shoulder blades back behind you as you're lengthening through the top of the head and lifting through the heart center. Lovely. Take this higher to seal pose, arms at 45 degrees, and then grow that pose into your Urdhva Mukha, lifting up more into an up dog or cobra-esque pose. Suck those bandhas in. Keep breathing here. Option to go up on toes if you prefer. Lovely. Lower it down. Push through your knees if you need to swan stretch to release the lower back. See how the hips are feeling. You're cool. Up to a down dog. Take a deep breath in, look up. Spring forward to the hands before or step forward. Extend. Breathe out, fold. Push the floor away, bring yourself all the way back up. And then breathing out all the way back down. Hinge, push the floor away, take the energy into the bandhas, extend as far as you can, and fold. Breathe in, extend. Place, stride or jump, through your chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Settling here, left leg through this time, sweeping high, and sweeping through. High lunge firstly on this side. So with nice proportions, check in, push the feet into the floor, soften the back knee as you bring yourself back up. Your call here, okay? You can settle here, bring that thumb into the hip crease, crease of the thigh and the hip, and the thumb behind the back hip as you're drawing down with this front hip, stretching up through the top of the head, heart pings through as you straighten the back leg and guide these hips into a sort of squared position. If you're happy here, take it up into the higher pose. Body balance is not good today. I don't know what's going on. Must be very tired. Just stretching up and away. And breathe out. Okay, settling here. Dropping that knee down, so we're going down to the low version, padding up the knee at the back. Find a pose where you're happiest. You're getting as much stretch through this back hip. Activate both feet. Lift yourself back up. Settle those hands back into position. So drawing down and back with this front thumb, and down and pushing forward with this back thumb just above the bottom. Okay, straightening and lengthening, curling the tail under as best you can, popping the heart through, and when you're happy, opening up and stretching away. Optional look up here. If you're finding balance a bit tricky like me today, you might want to just look forward. Sucking Mula Bandha, tucking Uddiyana Bandha. Use your Ujjayi breathing. Lovely. Breathe out. Place. Okay. Coming over to the other side. So we're going to bring the hands inside. Just scooch the foot out a little bit. Draw the knee into the shoulder as you then lower yourself down to the floor. So we're stretching through the top of the head, dropping down and then just drawing in. as you try and drag that back leg through. Draw the heart through to the fists and pull through. See if you can hold balance between ease and effort here. Feet working. Lovely. Keep breathing. And then carefully swap it through to your lying on the floor. So coming up to your forearm cobra. So Sphinx pose, first of all. Settle yourself with your shoulders nicely aligned. Big cat pause, roll the shoulders back and down. Lengthen off the legs. Pop the heart through and stretch up. Breathing here, bandha's working hard. Feel the concertinaing effect, strengthening the lower back. Push up into seal pose. Still the heart drawing through to the front. And then if you're very happy, to your up dog or your cobra-esque pose. Lifting up and away. You keep the knees down if you prefer, but just keep listening to the lower back. Breathing here, heart still growing through. Lovely. Breathing out, lowering, tucking through to your down dog. Settle here. Take a moment. Just pedal those feet if you need to from those quite big hip openers. And draw the energy back into the belly and stretch up, up and away. There's a fly buzzing around, very annoying. Lovely. When you're ready, you're going to hop through to the front. So take a deep breath in, hop through to the front, extend, breathe out, fold, breathe in, hinge, keep the weight into those bandhas, lifting up and breathing out. Breathe in all the way back up, going all the way back through to down dog. Fold, breathe in, extend. Place, stride or jump through your chaturanga to your up dog and then push back to your down dog. Settle, readjust, take a moment. You're going to come through to standing now. So take a deep breath in and sweep the right leg high, sweep it through to the front. Find your warrior position, so heel down if that's easier for you. We want to try and bring this right hip through. So take a moment to bring yourself up and to activate this back leg in the right way. So it's not all flaccid and the pelvis is sort of spinning off over to the front, over to the side I should say. Then we're just actually pushing down through that back foot, thinking about what we were doing with our thumbs in those last poses to draw the pelvis straight. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. Go a bit deeper if you can, and you're still maintaining that activity through the back leg there. Really sort of solid pushing down and lengthening up and away. Lovely. Deep breath in. We're going to spin now. So we're going to spin to the side, open side, stretch away and lengthen. Keep checking in with that front leg. Lovely. 5 breaths here. Change this in to a warrior 2. So you can go wider if you prefer. Draw up and away. Just roll those inner thighs out. Get those 4 corners of both feet working through the floor and back up again into the belly. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Draw that energy up that front leg. Hinge and stretch away into your Utthita Trikonasana. So find your pose. If you need to be propped or you need to be on your ankle or higher up, that's fine as long as you're not pressing on the knee joint. Find where you can balance and stretch away. Keep drawing the energy up the legs, out through the heart, through the top of the head. Lovely. Soften it off. Bring yourself all the way back up. And I'm going to stride through. So what you might want to do is shorten this pose. Bring this right leg through. We're going to step through into eagle pose. Arms and legs together, or just legs, or just arms. You decide. We're going to take a few twists in it as well. So we're going to bring ourselves through, push down through the right leg, and then as you draw that energy up and down the right leg, you're going to bend and bring the left leg over the top. Okay, so again, a bit like the arms in Garudasana arms, which you did earlier. I'm going to try and cross the legs and wrap round. If not, just press the legs together like a set of scissors. nutcracker legs. Lovely. Bring yourself into position. Try and then draw that left hip back to bring you back round to centre. And the opposite arm will go over the top. So stretching away again. Balance is really off today. And crossing over. Stretching up and away. And lengthening. Keep breathing here. It's this right foot, I really need to work on it. Keep stretching up, sitting down, stretching up, opening the heart, lifting the arms, drawing the shoulders down the back as you create that natural openness in the pose. Release it off, bring yourself back to standing. Deep breath in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, fold. Place, stride or jump through your chaturanga to your up dog. And push back to your down dog. Take a moment here. I'm going to lift then the left leg high. I'm going to spin round actually because I'm going to be on the wrong side. Left leg high. Sweeping through. Find your warrior. So I'm going to drop that back heel down. Bring yourself up to that warrior. Find that back leg, straightening down through it, activating all four corners of the feet as you bring that right hip through and soften at the front. Deep breath in. You need to sort of focus on this drawing down and in and drawing through and up. Lovely. And then settle. Lovely. I'm going to take the twist. So you might want to go deeper. Spin the left leg down, left arm down to the left leg and spin out to the back. Stretch away and lengthen. Change the foot position into a warrior two. Might just take a little step across and stretch away. Gazing down the middle finger, drawing the energy up and in to the bandhas. Stretching away, breathing here. Lovely. Draw that straight leg in, trying to avoid that hyperextension of the knee, drawing the energy up the leg, and then hinging and growing. So kicking out through the right hip, growing the waist, bandhas working hard to support, and stretching away into your Trikonasana. So finding all four corners of the feet, and stretching away. Lovely. Keep breathing here. Excellent. Bring yourself back up. Shorten your stance if you need to. And then we're going to bring ourselves into our eagle pose. Halfway house if you need it to just get yourself balanced. Pushing the floor away and taking the energy up that left leg. Excuse me. Crossing the legs over. Drawing the right hip back this time. Sitting down. And just folding where you can settle. And then wide with the arms. Crossing over, bend at the elbows and grow the pose. Heart still popping through to the front as you lift and lengthen the front and the back of the body. Breathing here. Lovely. One more breath. Release it off carefully. And back to Samastiti. Lovely. Okay, excellent. We're going to go down to kneeling for a bit again here. So there's going to be a bit of work on the floor before we go back into our standing poses. So carefully does it then through our half vinyasa. Hinge. Take the weight through the feet. Draw it back up as you lengthen up, out and away. Down to your Uttanasana. Breathe in, extend. Place and jump back. Chaturanga to your up dog. Pushing in, evening, rolling, lengthening. And then push back to your down dog. Down to your knees then, padding up if you need to. Bring your padding into your knees if you need it. So I'm going to take some cat-cow flexions here before we go into high kneels and gomukhsanas. So carefully does it then. I'm going to bring the padding underneath the knees. Draw yourself into that ideal Positioning, just driving the shoulders down the back and just spreading and then popping them into the back ribs, lengthening through the top of the head and finding that engagement. Breathing here, finding the cat-cow flexions that work for you. Remembering to avoid that slide forward and back. We're just working through that flexion and extension. So not moving forward and back at all. We're moving frontal and sacral. So can draw in, really use the bandhas here. Use Uddiyana Bandha here, drawing it up and in. And you can feel the activity, unless you know Uddiyana Bandha isn't for you. And the in-breath comes, it's really pleasing. So pushing the breath out, using the lock, and back into your flexion. Lovely. So carefully does it. We're going to take our C curves here. So we're just going to shorten each side of the body. What you can do is drop down to your left elbow, stretch through the right leg and right arm, and just form a stretch. So you're pushing down, there's an activity through the base arm as you stretch out and away. So it's a different C curve. You don't want to do the normal sort of slalom C curves that we do. Release off, change sides. Down on this forearm, slightly angled in to give you stability. Push down through arm and leg, stretch away, lengthen, and open the side of the body. Breathing here, stretching away, and carefully flowing out. Lovely. Obviously the alternative version is just squeezing, crushing a grape on those hips. Okay, lovely, which you know very well. So coming into a high kneel then, into Gomukhasana. So I'm going to bring ourselves up into that high kneel. Lifting the arms up, right arm through, bend the elbow and hold, position behind. So right arm high, scoop and lift and stretch the tricep as we drop the left shoulder and pop the heart through to the front. So draw and open the heart through. Lovely. Nice. Carefully does it. Release off the arms. Keep that right leg kneeling. Push down, open into Parigasana. Make sure you can maintain that alignment through the hip. Push down and lift. Push down into all four corners of that leg and pull it in. Take a deep breath in. Stretch up through the top of the head. You can sweep the arm up to help and stretch up and away as you go over. So keeping that lovely alignment as if you're sliding down a wall behind you rather than sort of twisting one way or the other, which your back isn't going to be very happy with. So keep breathing here. Lovely. Fantastic. Deep breath in, release that off. So then carefully, as we did at the start, we're going to bring our left leg forward, going into Triangula Mukhapada on this side. Just squeeze in with the fingers and squish the calf out to the side and carefully lower yourself down. So we just want to scoop the foot out to the side. Don't worry too much about the calf, the squelching will be fine. Draw in, take a deep breath in. Lovely. And we're going into the reverse. So just keep level through the hips as you bring yourself either to the fingers behind you, fingers facing forwards. Pop the heart open, grow the pose, stretch through the top of the head, draw the shoulder blades together and open the chest. Both legs are active here, so whilst the right leg, the bent leg is pushing down and the foot is pushing down, the left leg is flexing and foot is flexing, drawing back in. Bandha's working, trying to keep the pelvis nicely level. If you know you can go down to the floor, go down to forearms, assess. If you feel this hip is starting to ping up off the floor, reassess whether you think you can go down all the way and keep that nicely level. I can feel my hip is rising, so I'm going to come up. That's all the cycling and sitting that we're doing. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. Fantastic. Carefully then, release it off. Half vinyasa. So cross the legs, roll through, place your hands, stride or jump, chaturanga to your up dog. Take a moment in your up dog there to just stretch out the tops of the feet, toes, ankles. Lovely. And then push back to your down dog. Back to your high kneel. Okay. Back to our Gomukhasana arms. So cow face arms. I'm going to bring our left arm up, stretch up, bend at the elbow, grow the pose, find the pose. So you're opening up, lifting the elbow, triceps, and opening the armpit of the left arm. Pop the heart through as you drop the back shoulder down and lengthen. Breathing here, so you're creating this sort of lovely stretch all the way from the left elbow down that side of the body. And release that off. Stretch the right leg out to the side for your Padagasana. Check your alignment. This leg coming straight out of the hip joint. This hip going right above the knee joint. Press the knee and the foot in as you lift up and away. Breathe in, left arm up. Keep lengthening. It's all about the length rather than the travel in this pose. And slide yourself down, down, down and away. As soon as you feel this hip starting to twist, that's where you stop. So it's starting to avoid work in a tight hip. So keep pushing down and drawing the energy into the body as you keep square. Pulling the bandhas in, lovely. Fantastic. Breathe in, bring it back up. Sweep that right leg forward as you flatten the hand on the calf and you sit yourself down. Scooch that foot out to the side and bring yourself into Triangula Mukha Paschimottanasana. So without the Paschimottanasana today, I'm just going to scoot myself forward because I'm too close to the back wall. So carefully does it then. Make sure you've got both sit bones in good contact, that you're drawing the energy in correctly. There's no pain in the knee. Lengthening up, up and away. Bring the fingers back behind you and just draw the energy in. Lengthen first. Then bend the elbows and pop the heart through. Level one, everything working here, quite a lot going on through the legs as we draw it down to the floor on this side. So if this left hip doesn't pop up too much, you can stay forearms and pop it through, or you can then lie yourself down to the floor. The knee might lift momentarily as you then settle. Get yourself as flat through the pelvis here as you can. Deep stretch, obviously, work carefully with ankles and knees. Quite a significant lordosis in the lower back, but you're aiming to grow the stretch through the top of the head and engage the bandhas here to support. Lovely. Bring yourself back up slowly. Excellent. Fantastic. And release that off. Lovely. So, half vinyasa here, stretch through, and from a down dog, slide or jump back into your high plank, low plank, chaturanga, up dog, and then push back to your down dog. I'm going to take a variation here, so I'm going to spin round, spinny, spinny today, down dog, settle here, take a moment, take a deep breath in, I'm going to sweep the right leg high, sweep it through to the front. You're going to take it now into as deep a Parsvarkanasana as you can. So you may want to come all the way up, find your alignment, check that knee and bring yourself back over, or bring yourself into pose from below if you're happy that your hip is going to open adequately. So you can stay in level one, stretching away, or take it further into two, or indeed the bind. Your call, breathing here. Lovely. Option to spin it over, take the elbow underneath if you're bound and bring the leg up. Lovely. Adjust, swap the hands over, striding back to your down dog, settle here, left leg high, sweep it through, and spin again, and into your Utthita Parsvarkanasana on this side. So find your alignment, come all the way up if you need to. Settle yourself, bring yourself up, up and over, thinking about the alignment through the legs, activity through the legs and the bandhas, popping the heart through, stretching away, taking it down further if you're comfortable. To the bind if you're very comfortable, stretching away. Otherwise, you can spin as well when you're there. Spin down and lift this leg up. This arm isn't behaving very well. This leg isn't behaving very well, I should say. Lift up and stretch away. Bring it back through to your down dog. Settle here, take a moment. In your rest pose. Lovely. Excellent. So we're going to lie ourselves onto the floor for our locust poses, okay? And going up into our Dhanurasana and then the side, the Supta Dhanurasana, which is going onto the side. So just be careful that you're on a sort of padded surface, okay? Particularly sort of choose the bits where you're going to move to be the most padded, okay? So taking a deep breath in, we're going to lie ourselves down. I'm going to take it this way so I can roll off onto my squidgy mat. We're going to take ourselves into a locust pose. So this time it's going to be hands underneath the shoulders. Draw the shoulders down, stretch through the top of the head, tuck the elbows in, draw the shoulder blades together and the heart sinks through to the front, lifting the legs but then pressing them back in as you lengthen through the top of the head. Bring yourself up, either just the body or legs and body. Stretching up and away. Lovely. Lowering it down. Don't forget to windscreen micro if you need to release the lower back and to release the thighs a little bit. Lovely. So here, your Dhanurasana. So carefully does it then. I'm going to catch each foot. Same rules apply for chest and legs, so there's a lot of engagement going on here. If you're not sure about it, just catch one foot at a time and have a go, okay? But don't do the roll around. So take a deep breath in, draw the shoulders down the back, stretch through the top of the head, pop the heart through to the front and draw the shoulder blades back and down as you push the feet into the floor, into the hands. Breathing here into your Dhanurasana bow pose, and then carefully you can roll onto the right side and take it here on the side. And then roll, moving the legs onto the other side. It's all in the weighting of the legs. And push down and open up into your Supta Dhanurasana here. Lovely. Roll back over, back into the standard pose. Lovely. And release it off. So into a child pose here. Bring the knees and the toes together. If you want to, you can squidge the calves again. So rather than bringing them out to the side, just sandwich your fingers in between the legs and calves and scooch them out. Lengthen. And what's helpful here is you want to get space in the lower back. It's not very comfortable with a brick, depending on what you've got. If it's a sandwich box, I wouldn't do it. Okay, these have got a bit of give in them. It's to create a little bit of space here in the belly. So you stretch up and away, and then lengthen yourself over. If that's too much for you, and it does rather press on the floating ribs, then you can use just one of the rolled up towel, a little blanket, or one of these squidgy cushions. Same rules apply. Stretch up and away, and fold out. And you can feel the difference. As long as you haven't eaten too recently, it shouldn't be too uncomfortable. And we just create space in the mid and lower back. Drawing your bandhas in will help tuck everything up, and out of the way. Settle here for a moment before we go into our vinyasa. Lovely. Excellent. So, carefully does it here up to our down dog, full vinyasa. So, take a moment. You can leave this out if you prefer. We're coming back into a plank position. Look up, spring forward to your hands, extend, breathe out, fold. Breathe in, push the floor away, hinge yourself back up, using the bandhas here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, up, and breathe out, down. Lovely. Breathe in, extend, and stride or jump through to your high plank. I'm just going to spin around again. So carefully does it then, going through, have your towel, so going through to a pigeon, have your towel cushion or bolster ready if you know you need support in pigeon on either side. Usual rules apply with pigeon, please. So any pain in the knee or the ankle, you come straight out onto the bottom of the bent leg. Okay, so into our high plank here. We can catch you there for a little while. Draw the energy into those L's, into the heels. Draw the arms back into the body. Pop the heart through to the floor as you hold your plank. Okay, knees down is fine. Lifting one leg and pulling in. Lifting one leg and pulling in. The bum will start to splay a little bit, but that's okay. And then bring that knee through. So, depending on how you're feeling for your pigeon, you can bring this foot out a little bit and settle yourself down into position. If you need to pad yourself up or use the brick or the block, then please do. Any pain in the knee, you're coming out. I don't mind where you end up in this pose. You can take the high version, just check that leg at the back is in line with the back hip. If you want to go low, you can go low. Just keep thinking about the banders and thinking about the level of the hips and thinking about where you can be comfortable, whether it's lying down on the forearms, stretching away, lengthening. It's not about the height or the length here really, it's about how you're feeling in the pose, length of the spine, leveling up the pelvis, no pain in the bent leg. Breathing here. Option to take the twists if you like them. Lovely. Fantastic. Take a deep breath in. Stay a bit longer if you want to. We'll all meet back in a down dog, so you can either come out to down dog, take a vinyasa, deep breath in, spring forward to the hands, extend, breathe out, fold, breathe in, bring yourself all the way back up and breathe out. Breathe in all the way up and breathe out. Lovely. Back you go through your chaturanga to your up dog and pushing back to your down dog. Take a moment here. Settling, so back into the high plank then. We're going to take the lifts on the other side through to pigeon. So carefully find your arrangement in your high plank or your low plank, whichever you prefer. Fingers, pushing the L's, pushing the heels, drawing that energy back into the shoulders. You draw the shoulders in and down the back, up into your plank position. Leg lift, through, lift, through, lift and pigeon. Just bring it through. Take the time to get the pose just right. Again, don't worry too much about that calf. Check that leg is nicely in line with the back heel, back hip. Settle yourself. If you need to prop yourself, then do. Take a deep breath in. Lengthening up, up and away. Draw the heart through to the front and just check you're feeling nice and level. And then breathing out. Settling over to forearms, keeping the length, keeping the level of the pelvis. And then potentially going down to the floor. See how you feel here. Depends on what's going on through this hip and how high you are off the floor. Breathing here. Take your twists if you're taking those. Lovely. Very good. Heading towards 60 minutes. So another 10 minutes to go. Doing really well. Well done. Lovely. So here we go. Carefully does it then. We're going to take that prop out, crease down onto that bent leg, butt cheek, and roll through. So it might be the odd way round. Pull those feet in, hop over, and take yourself into your high plank, your chaturanga, to your up dog, knees down if you prefer, and then push back to your down dog. Take a moment in your down dog. Draw the energy up the arms, pop the heart through and stretch away, settling down. And then when you're ready, slide or jump through to seated. Lovely. So here then, just taking a little bit of openness through the hips. I'm going to bend the legs. I'm going to bring one leg into a figure 4 position. So I'm going to take the arms back, fingers facing forwards, pop the heart through and bring the right leg on top. So just past the ankle bone, I'm pushing the knee away. Draw the energy up through the top of the head and the heart. Draw the shoulder blades back and down, but still drawing the knee away. Lovely. Change that into fire log. So you bring both legs over. I'm going to have to adjust that slightly. There we go. I'm going to have to put that underneath my base foot because the floor is hard. Lovely. So just bring your legs into position. Going to be slightly ahead of where you normally are. Up to you whether you take the variation where you're gently guiding and activating the feet and the legs, drawing the legs back in, and see if you can drop that knee a bit more, or bring the knees up and pop the heart through and stretch forward, lengthening. So as you lengthen up and out of the pelvis, the aim is not to get the chest to the legs. The aim is to lengthen so much away that the knees naturally just settle themselves down to the floor. So heart underneath, draw the elbows backwards, using the stickiness of the floor. Draw the shoulders down, stretch through the top of the head. The heart pings through as you stretch forward through the top of the head. Lovely. Release that off. Fantastic. And we're just going to bring that back up. So that leg back up onto that left leg. And we're just going to windscreen wiper to one side and to the other side. Just rolling it over. Lovely. Taking the twist through the waist. You will slightly travel forward with this one. Bit of myofascial release around the bottom. Lovely. Cross the legs through. Take your half vinyasa. Jumping or striding back. Chaturanga to your up dog. Push back to your down dog. Settle and sit or jump through to seated. Back into that position then with the legs. Both legs bent. Left leg on top this time. Out above the ankle bone, the malleolus there. Just getting it so it's comfortable. And going to bring the tented hands backwards. Roll the shoulders back and down. Draw the shoulder blades in and down. Straightening the arms, pushing the knee away. There's a drawing in of both legs. Push and pull. Sucking the banders in and popping the heart through to the front. Breathing here. Adjust the position. I'm going to have to pop that underneath my foot again. There we go. And find where you can come into your fire log pose. So again, straightening up through the shins, bringing the legs into position. Again, that top knee could be a little bit high. Just get yourself nicely settled. You can always sit on a cushion for this one if you need to. Up to you whether you sit up and push down and just lengthen out and away and suck in the banders, or whether you then bring the arms up, which is going to make this difficult. Draw the hands underneath, slide them back as you draw the shoulder blades down the back. The heart pops through, stretch through the top of the head and actively lengthen out of an even weight through both sit bones. So you are pushing down through the sit bones and stretching up at the same time. Banders in, breathing here. Feet are very active, legs are active. Lovely. Excellent. Release that off. Bring that foot back up on top. And then when you're ready, pop the heart through and the windscreen wipering. One side and the other side. Sliding forward just a little bit, opening up, getting the both legs down to the floor if you can. Not too difficult this one, just pay attention to what's going on through the hips and the SI joints, those knobbly bits at the back. Carefully does it. So your final vinyasa here as we go down through to our inversions. So cross your legs, pull the legs through, place, stride or jump depending on where you're at energy level wise, and stretch away. Push back to your down dog, and when you're ready, step or jump through to seated. So then from here, going into the full variations of shoulder stand, I'm going to assume that you are safe to do shoulder stand. If you've not done an active shoulder stand that's been taught to you in terms of breaking down the technique and building the pose from the base, I would suggest not doing it, okay, because there is a risk to your neck, cervical vertebra, and obviously your spinal column. So I would suggest just going into Viparita Karani. So that's going to involve getting yourself very close to a wall and carefully, just as you lie yourself down, spin. The slidey floor is very helpful, and getting your legs up the wall. This is still an inversion, okay? So carefully does it. Otherwise, shoulder stand, it's going to be full shoulder stand series. So 5 breaths to 10 breaths to 15 breaths, your call, in Salamba Sarabhasana, and then going over to Halasana, plow pose, to Kanun Pindasana, ear pinching pose, back up to fish pose, and then to Uttana Padasana variation, if you know that one as well. And after that, we're going into Shavasana. So take your time. There's plenty of time here, 65 minutes. So aiming for a 70 to 75 minute class, depending on how much Shavasana you would like to include. So here we go then, just bringing yourself down onto the floor. Feel free to take a bridge if you need to. Think about that squidginess we were talking about, pressing the calf away rather than scooching, okay, and twisting the muscles out of proportion. So carefully does it then. Taking yourself into your shoulder stand. Remember the health precautions here. So thinking about it being a shoulder stand, not a neck, not a headstand. Okay, stretching through the top of the head. The trapezius and related muscles, shoulders, are going to take the weight. So we're going to stretch through, tuck the chin in. We're going to bring ourselves up. So we're going to push away and lift, and then guide ourselves into position whilst having the wardrobe malfunction. Pop the heart through. So in all of these poses, the heart is singing through to the front and the arms are drawing together. Breathing here. It's not easy to talk in this one. Stretching up, up and away. The heart keeps popping through to stretch through the neck. Stay a bit longer if this is right for you. Otherwise, we're going to hinge through the pelvis, pushing down through the heels and all 4 corners of the feet as you stretch away. The arms go behind you. Keep the length in the spine as you bring the toes behind you. Stretch up, up and away. And if you can, stretch the feet down onto the floor. Just check for alignment, glance up. Try not to turn your head one way or the other. Lovely. Into your ear pinching pose when you're ready. Dropping yourself down. If you want to settle, you can, or you can stretch and keep bringing that clasp down to the floor as you bring the shins to the floor and the knees in, the heart still popping through. And then coming back up via your shoulder stand and carefully lowering yourself down, either with the back saving pose, bending the back, or lowering, if you're building strength, lowering those legs together at the same time. Be very careful of the arch of the lower back, so you're needing to keep that back very, very settled and without movement. Into your fish pose. So stay a bit longer in your inversions if you want to. Just going to bring ourselves into fish pose. So we're going to flex the feet, draw the energy up the legs, bring the hands down, draw the shoulders in as you grow the space in the heart, pop the chest up and sort of slightly escalate forwards and bring the top of the head onto the floor. Heart singing, back bending. Keep breathing into your Uttana Padasana, hands together, legs up, stretch away. Keep breathing here. When you're ready, Find fish. Press the elbows in as you bring the head up. Look forward and release yourself back down. If you need to take some back openers here, just settle yourself, hug knees to chest, either one at a time, and then both together, just to find out what's going on through the lower back. Stir it around if you need to. Carefully does it then. Quite low arms this time, so not above shoulder height, maybe just below, palms down. Draw the shoulders down the back, and almost you can, if you want to, scoop the palms up a little bit to just open up the chest. Chin tucks in, stretch through the top of the head, cross the legs and fan open. Draw that left arm away as you roll down to the right hand side. Breathing here into that twist, flattening yourself off as best you can. Release the head first, bring the legs back up, reacquaint the arms and the shoulders, stick the head through, tuck the chin in, cross the legs over, and are still working here, and breathe out. Lower down as you stretch away to the other side. Everything's in the way. Stretching away, away, away. Keep breathing. Bring the head back first when you feel that everything's started to release. Bring that back up. Release the legs. Hug the knees to the chest. Take your time taking another back opener if you feel that you need it. Otherwise, going straight into Shavasana. So we have previously used various methods of opening Shavasana in different ways. We've had weighted blankets to help draw ourselves into the earth and to comfort the body and sort of tune into our proprioception. So up to you today. You can find a Shavasana that works for you. Might be standard, might be supported, might have a couple of cushions under your back, which creates a lovely openness through the chest, or indeed a supported pose where you've propped up your pelvis a little bit to just free off the hips. So find whichever Shavasana is comfortable for you today. Just going to bring the equipment in. And this is where we tune our attention back into the body, back into the breath. And trace the shape and space of the body on the mat and let the body go. Take active sighing breaths if that helps. With each out breath, your body relaxes and releases. It's a conscious decision to release yourself to the floor and to release any areas of tension still lingering. Tuning in to your heart. So as our breath settles, our body settles, and we turn into a mindful Shavasana, where we can feel the body and we're conscious and aware of what's going on, but are deeply relaxed. We want to settle ourselves and think about tuning in, back in, I should say, to our heart center. So with the utmost respect and love, I look to myself and to my heart. My inner teacher. Breathe the larger air. listen for birdsong. Walk in the light and in the dark. Watch clouds with a sense of joyful freedom. Stand by a tree. Place your hand on its trunk or branch and feel rooted. So taking yourself out of your head and into your heart, we say together, with the utmost respect and love, I honour my heart, my inner teacher. The greatest respect and love, I honour my heart, my inner teacher. With the greatest respect and love, I honour my heart, my inner teacher. Stay in your Shavasana a while longer, or finish your practice here. And thank you, and Namaste.